Check. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everybody. My name is Brandon Andrews. We are going to get started with Street Pitch 2018 in about 3 minutes. So find your seats. If you don't have a seat, come and find your way to your seats. And we're going to get started in about 3 minutes. Everyone come in and grab your seat. Well, good evening, everybody. I hope all of you are excited to be at the Street Entrepreneurs Street Pitch 2018. My name is Brandon Andrews. Over the past several years, through doing casting for Shark Tank and other TV shows, at pitch competitions, at business conferences, and even on the street, I've met thousands of entrepreneurs. And I can say unequivocally that the spark of innovation and the grit that you need to grow a business over time, those attributes exist in every community, every culture, every gender, and every zip code. But the resources to support those entrepreneurs aren't always there. Because of that, Street Entrepreneurs created their pay-as-you-go accelerator program for entrepreneurs so they can come and grow personally, so they can learn how to grow their businesses, and so that the barrier to entry to entrepreneurship is lower for diverse entrepreneurs and for female founders. We're really excited to hear from 7 entrepreneurs who have been through the Street Entrepreneurs program tonight as part of Street Pitch 2018. These entrepreneurs will be pitching to a panel of judges here. They'll be pitching to potential investors and potential business partners in the audience. They'll be pitching to hundreds of thousands of people at home through Facebook Live, but they'll also be pitching to each of you because some of these entrepreneurs are running crowdfunding campaigns that allow you to be an investor. That means anyone in this room over 18 will be able to invest, so to be able to vote with your dollars to invest in some of these businesses, which is really exciting. I'm excited to hear pitches from these entrepreneurs tonight, and I hope you are too. Follow hashtag StreetPitch2018 to follow the conversation online. And the more you use that hashtag as Giving Tuesday, the more resources will come to street entrepreneurs through a special program that they have set up. And also follow the hashtag so that you can connect with these entrepreneurs. We'll be sharing links to all of their crowdfunding campaigns. We'll be sharing links to their websites and links to whatever ask they may have for you in the audience using that hashtag as well. Now I want to introduce you to Juliana, who put together this event. She leads street entrepreneurs and has been an incredible force for good in this area for several years. She originally came up to this area from Florida and has been awarded for her work as a community organizer for several years. She is passionate about supporting diverse founders, about supporting female founders, and we have her to thank for being here at the Street Entrepreneurs Street Pitch 2018 at the Inclusive Incubation Incubator here on the campus of Howard University in Washington, D.C. Juliana, come on up and tell us about street entrepreneurs.
Thank you. A good friend of mine once told me I was naive, impetuous, and reckless. Naive enough to believe in the goodness of people. Impetuous enough to do it now. And reckless enough to risk failure. My name is Juliana Cardona Mejia, and I'm the founder and CEO of Street Entrepreneurs. Welcome to Street Pitch, the showcase that allows you, the audience, to directly invest in your favorite entrepreneur through crowdfunding campaigns, product purchases, and in-kind contributions. Street Pitch transforms the traditional pitch competition by mobilizing a collective of organizations to democratize who is involved, what they win, and how they are showcased. The entrepreneurs represent the top talent from Street Entrepreneurs' nearly 400 members. From AI technologies to catering companies and eco-friendly products, Street Entrepreneurs believes that both small businesses and high-growth startups deserve support and amplification. I started Street Entrepreneurs 3 years ago. During my morning commute to what was then my day job at the World Bank, I always used to pass individuals experiencing homelessness. One day I began to stop. I would help some get food, and with others I would simply talk. I soon realized that these were only band-aids to a life without steady income. When you're homeless, getting a job is virtually impossible. Imagine showing up to an interview with all your possessions, or the assumptions that are made when you list shelter as your residence. This is one of the many reasons that up to 40% of homeless youth resort to dealing drugs. Naive me thought, if I could help these youth sell a different product, then I could help them get out of the shelter without getting killed, imprisoned, or poisoning society. Using my design thinking background and innovation, I set off to teach rapid business prototyping workshops in shelters and juvenile detention centers. Then I started hosting workshops in community centers and here at IN3. The individuals who showed up did not meet our homeless youth criteria, always. Some were 50 plus and underemployed, and others were simply not being given a chance to advance their careers. Yet still, every one of them had an insatiable curiosity and an inextinguishable drive to problem solve. Like Aaron, you could be helping individuals on the autism spectrum communicate using artificial intelligence. Or like Yatasha, creating extra income for your family by selling chocolate-covered strawberries. We work with individuals of all socioeconomic backgrounds, yet we're very intentional about inclusion and access. We provide 32 Pay What You Can workshops, taking pride in our inclusion of underrepresented founders. Our 2018 cohort was 50% African American, 20% Latinx, 5% Asian, 58% women, 13% LGBTQ, and we're still striving to be even more inclusive.
And clap for that.
When you join Street Entrepreneurs, our only requirement is grit. Grit is something that wakes you up at night and keeps you up in the morning. Didn't I say that backwards? I think so. But hey, I haven't slept much, so. If you have grit, everything else can be learned. Grit pushes you to see how far you can go. It tests your agility and ingenuity. It forces to question the status quo. The entrepreneurs you're about to hear from have proven to be the grittiest of them all. And they're about to leave a piece of their soul on this stage. And like me, they're probably nervous, anxious, tired, excited, and everything that follows. So I'd love for you to join me in introducing the 2018 Street Pitch Entrepreneurs. Thank you. This is the finale of Global Entrepreneurship Week, DC. Later on, you'll be hearing from Steven Rodriguez, who will be announcing the finalists for the Entrepreneur Choice Awards.
Thank you so much. Give Liana another round of applause. So let's talk a little bit about how tonight will work. So there are 7 entrepreneurs who, again, are the best and brightest from the Street Entrepreneurs Accelerator Program that have been part of this program over the past year. Each entrepreneur will get 3 minutes to pitch their business to a panel of judges. Each entrepreneur will get a different panel of judges. These judges were selected based on their backgrounds, based on their levels of expertise, so they'll be able to speak to the industry that the entrepreneurs are working in and hopefully give them some constructive feedback. Following the 3-minute pitch, our judges will have 4 to 5 minutes to do Q&A and give feedback to each entrepreneur. And after that, we will move on to the next entrepreneur. The job of the judges tonight is to give feedback and not to judge as in a traditional pitch competition. The job of the entrepreneurs is to come up here and share what they've been working on with you here in the audience. Your job is to be excited here in the audience and also to take the eye of an investor as you look at each one of the companies, and for those that are running crowdfunding campaigns, vote with your dollars, invest, and again, pay attention to hashtag StreetPitch2018 to follow the conversation online. Of course, we couldn't do an event like Street Pitch 2018 without incredible partners. I mentioned the Inclusive Innovation Incubator, the space that we are in. It is the only space in DC of its kind that's committed to both inclusion, innovation, and incubation for ideas and for entrepreneurs. Aaron Saunders is here in the back. Give him a round of applause. Thank you for your support. Aaron will greet us a little bit later today to tell us all about what the work that's going on here at the IN3 Incubator here on the campus of Howard University. Now, I want to introduce our first panel of judges Boris Foxman from Make My Day CPA. As I call your name, if you'll come up and take a seat. And hold your applause to the end here. Oh, well, or you cannot. Kezia Williams from the Black Upstart. And Shelley Bell from Black Girl Ventures is our third judge for the first entrepreneur. So again, IN3 is the sponsor for this first part of our pitch competition. VRIPAC is the first business that will be pitching tonight. Teka is here in the audience, and I believe he is ready to pitch. You ready? Okay, come on up, sir. Just a second here. Yeah, give him a round of applause. Okay, so here's how it will work. Again, you will get 3 minutes to pitch your business to this audience and panel of judges. Following those 3 minutes, yep, it works. Following those 3 minutes, the judges will have another 4 to 5 minutes to give you feedback and to respond to your questions. And for those of you in the audience, if you are using the hashtag StreetPitch2018, I will be looking for good questions for our entrepreneurs as well. So those of you in the audience, if you have questions, please use that hashtag to send those. And those of you watching online through Facebook Live, use that hashtag to send your questions as well. We want you to do two things. Give us your name, the name of your business, and then the next word that you utter will start your 3 minutes for pitching. All right? Are you ready?
I am.
Give him another round of applause as he begins.
I'm Tika Thomas. My company is VRIPAC. So thank you to the judges for your time. Thank you to Juliana and Street Entrepreneurs and Incubed for putting this on. All of us are on the move at some time. Last night I was on a plane flight in from California. Whether you're on your typical Sunday cycling route or you're touring a city in Europe or something like that, you want your keys, your cell phone, your passport, your glasses, a few key things on you at all times. And I'm here to say that VRIPAC is the best solution for that. You can pass this on. The key to it's a small backpack. The key to making it all work is the two straps in front that tighten and adjust to just about anyone. It hardly changes your profile, weighs less than a pound, and it has hardly any influence on your center of gravity at all. So, truth be told, I actually conceived it right here on Georgia Avenue. I live right in Columbia Heights and wanted to go for a short run. My name brand backpack was just too cumbersome. I couldn't find something right sized for it. So, hence, after years of development and feedback from friends, here's the final product. Its unique selling proposition is that it is, you forget you're wearing it, and what you're really paying for is, when you're exercising or traveling, you have your essentials on you, and you literally forget you're wearing it. So my Instagram feed, which is Instagram/VRIPAC, you'll see pictures sailing, there's horseback riding, people just going to brunch after a yoga class. There's all kinds of uses for it. Each and every one of you, it's holiday season, each and every one of you has someone on your list that would appreciate one. Just last week, a travel blog listed it in their holiday gift guide. The people who like it the most, actually, even those conceived for running, are extreme sports athletes like parkour and skateboarders. That skateboard park down on 11th Street, those kids really liked it. So, yeah, it has a whole bunch of applications. What I'm really looking for are just marketing and sales partners. I'm not looking for investing per se, just people to help push the product out. I already have the inventory. So, thank you for your time, and just remember, when you're on vacation or exercising, lighten up a bit with a VRIPAC. So I will take your questions.
Testing. Oh, it's working.
I hear you.
All right. I like this. This is very great. I tried it on. It fits. I'm assuming one size fits all. One size fits all?
One size fits most.
All right. Well, one size fits most. I'm happy to make
the straps are moved side to side, up and down. They're removable altogether, and then on the back you can adjust it. Okay. And then that's the new version. It's on Amazon. It's a bit more than the old version, which is also on Amazon. So this one expands, so you can fit a water bottle or a small piece of clothing or something.
Okay. One of the things that we talk about at Black Upstart is that you can't boil the ocean. One of the things that I heard you say is that there are a lot of populations of people that really like this pack, people who do extreme sports, people who are on the go at brunch. Who exactly is your targeted demographic?
I think I like parkour because they're the ones who really loved it the most, even though I'm told it's only about 15,000. But I think ultimately travel is probably the slice of bread that I can butter the most. This is a total humble brag, but this is the place to humble brag, right? Early last year, I was showing this couple the last prototype, and the guy's like, "Oh, this will be great for obstacle courses," and his girlfriend was like, "Oh no, it's too nice for that." So, focus. One's focused marketing narrative is kind of an issue, but yeah, you want an answer. I think parkour, which is small, they like it, and that's something I can be known for. MoveMag.org, they wrote a nice product review a year ago, but I think travel. So I want it on shops on cruise ships. I want it in resorts, those sorts of places.
I love this too because I'm a huge fan of fanny packs, and with that, they have recently resurfaced as being popular. So my question is, how do you plan to stay competitive? What stops one of the larger bag companies from just creating this? What do you plan to do to differentiate?
A buddy of mine was telling me a couple months ago, I was suggesting, maybe I should go to a travel trade show. He kind of talked me out of it just for that reason. Just really get known in one community, some extreme sport community, so it can have, some cachet as being known in that, and then you go, hey, I'm known as this, and then, the quote-unquote cool factor, bigger companies or bigger retailers will be attracted to expand it to other markets. So as a friend of mine who has a very successful clothing business, he said to me, Lululemon was known as the best yoga pants company, and Under Armour is known as the best sweat-wicking T-shirts, and now each of them does everything. So, not that I want to do everything, but it's just, be known for doing one thing well. So, maybe the bag for extreme sports. Their safety depends on center of balance, and it's tight. It doesn't throw off your center of gravity virtually. So, that's why it's popular with them.
A few questions. Is this patented? I mean,
I happen to be a lawyer. There's nothing that'll stand up to a patent challenge. There were a couple inventive steps in making it. I mean, obviously I have the name and the name of the version all trademarked and everything. I may go for a patent pending, but no, it's not patented.
Okay, so to me, it sounded like a great product presentation. Where's the business presentation? What would you say your business is going to do moving forward? So I guess there are a couple of things. One is, let's say you make this product profitable, then you have to talk about the break-even side of things, right? How many do you need to sell to break even?
Yeah, I'm not going to go over the details in public, but the margins are actually quite good. My manufacturer's distant relative. Do I have a number? I wish I...
Well, you said you sold 15,000, so...
like a year? No, the number 15,000, that was an estimate given as to the number of people who do parkour outdoors in the United States. It's probably bigger in Europe, way bigger in Europe, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you breaking even as a business?
No, I'm pretty new.
No.
Yeah. I'm not profitable yet.
Okay, so
I got started like middle of last year in earnest.
Okay. So, and how much do you sell this for?
The new one is 45, and the original one is 30. So you can get it on Amazon.com. There's some great reviews on it, or there's a veterans website marketplace called pompusa.org. You can also find it there.
Okay, and I suppose you're moving into the line of sport goods, right? Because you said extreme sports is probably...
Initially, but I think long term, I think travel. I mean, you're talking, a good third of the American population. That's 100 million people would want it, would love to receive it as a gift. How many people can actually get to buy it for themselves? It'd be a fraction of that. But even if it's just a fraction of that, that's...
Right, that's all we have time for.
Great product.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Give them another round of applause, and thank you to our judges. We'll have our next entrepreneur come up in just a second. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Okay, one second. 1 second. Okay. I know you're excited.
I am.
I'm excited to hear you pitch. Everybody give Donna a round of applause. She's about to pitch Freestyle Hair App. But before Donna pitches, this section of the Street Entrepreneur Street Pitch is sponsored by MindHatch. Through design thinking, organizational improv, and innovation facilitation, MindHatch helps you solve complex business problems and boost customer value and improve team performance. They're presenting Donna and the Freestyle Hair app tonight, and excited to have them as a partner on this event. Again, without these partners, we wouldn't be able to do the event. Now I want to introduce Donna's judges. Again, these judges have expertise in Donna's field, and we're looking forward to hearing their feedback on her business. First, Miss Christina Francis, Get Found, Get Funded. Come on up. And again, you can hold your applause to the end. Next, we'll have Miss Sybil Edwards from Black Female Founders. Thank you so much. And last but not least, we'll have Miss Amelia Friedman from Hatch Apps. Now you can applaud. Okay, so Donna, just like our first entrepreneur, you will have 3 minutes to pitch. And so I want you to move to the center of the stage here. Give us your name, the name of your business, and then with your next phrase, we'll start the clock. All right?
Hear me? Okay. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Donna Amore, and I am the CEO and founder of the Freestyle app. I am also the daughter of 2 immigrant parents from Nigeria who I watched build brick by brick the future that I live day in and day out. They are entrepreneurs, not afraid to create something around their passions or interests, or afraid to be seen starting from the bottom if it means creating the future that they wish to see. They are creators, and that's what they instilled in me. I've always believed that when you look good, you feel good. But growing up, I didn't always have the resources to get my hair done, so I learned how to do hair. I started braiding hair out of my parents' living room, and basically that was my first real taste of entrepreneurship. I was doing something that I enjoyed while at the same time helping others to feel more confident. So when my brother moved to DC and he had no idea where to go to find a barber, naturally I wanted to help him. I remember reaching out to all of my guy friends like, do you know a good barber? Just so that I can get a recommendation that I trust, so my brother wouldn't be lost. Out of this passion, I came up with the idea to create the Freestyle app. I didn't have a background in IT, and I had to make sacrifices like getting rid of my car in order to have the resources to fund the project. But for some reason, I felt like this was an idea that was bigger than me. So what the Freestyle app is, if you've ever stopped someone on the street to ask who did your hair, or reached out to your network for a recommendation on a stylist, a barber, a makeup artist, then the Freestyle app is for you. It was created with the hair and beauty concerns of the Black community in mind as a word-of-mouth platform, allowing you to connect to your network, share your pictures, shout out the hair and beauty professionals that you love, and allow your network an opportunity to connect with them. So it's our map, it's our way to navigate the hair search experience, a Rolodex of your network's trusted referrals. According to a recent Nielsen study entitled The Rise of the Super Consumer, the African American sweet spot in terms of buying power lies in hair and beauty aids. African American women make up 85.5% of what is on track to be a $1 trillion industry. Finding the right stylist is hard, but when you add to it the versatility of the different hairstyles, textures, and types that Black women have within our community, the difficulty of the search is magnified by 10. As a Black woman, I understand this pain point firsthand, and I saw a unique opportunity to create a resource to be able to solve a common problem within this industry. The Freestyle app allows creatives to list their services and to grow their business through word of mouth. It's a marketing tool. Word of mouth has always been one of the biggest tools helping small businesses to grow. I'm getting the timing. So in the next year, our projected financials say that, so the Freestyle app launched 2.5 months ago, and since its launch, we already have approximately 500 users and growing. Our financial projections show that if 1,000 users book services across our 6 product lines, then the app is on track to gross $1.2 million. Less the $1.1 million that's given back to professionals styling on the app is able to have a net profit of $100,000 in its first year. So I'm really excited about that, and I want to thank you all for listening to my pitch, and I'd also like to encourage anyone who's feeling inspired by my pitch and my story to first, download the app on the App Store. It's available live now on the App Store. 2, invite your stylist, makeup artist, barber, friends to be a part of your community on the app. The app prioritizes personal referrals, and it's a repository of your network's referrals. Finally, I'd love for you all to visit and support the Indiegogo campaign for the Freestyle app. You can support our campaign at bit.ly/freestyle it, and your donations will go towards innovations to our iOS beta product, and also towards completing the launch of the Android version of the platform, and then also towards marketing incentives. I'd love to be able to offer incentives to creatives, professional styling on the app. So thank you for your support. Who's ready to take confidence building and freelance into the next level today with the Freestyle app?
Okay, thank you.
So first of all, great pitch and
you.
great shoes. Are you partnering with someone who sells shoes at all? If you're not, I'm joking about that, but you should absolutely.
I am not partnering with someone that sells shoes, but this jumpsuit was actually made for me by my cousin. He's in Nigeria. I talked about how I'm originally from Nigeria, and so I have to shout him out for his intricate design today.
So that's something you should look at down the road, is how you partner, because you could say, I like this look, hairstyle, right, nails, and take a look at that. So one of the things I love is not just the business, but it's also the opportunity that you're providing for people to make money on the side. So I'm thinking college students or others who have a skill that they're looking to make money. So talk a little bit more about how that works in terms of payment.
Sure. I mentioned how, like, when I was growing up, I literally was braiding hair out of my mom's living room, and so I have, I'm a little biased, and I love freelancers because I have been and continue to sometimes freelance on the side. And so with the Freestyle app, it's somewhat like, I have a revenue model similar to Uber, in that you can accept on-demand clients, and so through the platform, you're able to list your services. And I mentioned that it's more of a marketing tool, so it allows, like, the professional to kind of like to become their own boss, as long as you're able to do great work and have your clients shout you out and to speak on your behalf. Then you basically grow your business through word of mouth. You literally tap into their network, your client's network, and you let their network do the networking for you. So I think that it's going to be a great tool for job creation within the community. It'll be a way for that hard-to-find freelancer to become more discoverable. And it's also for, professionals that may have free time, that want to monetize their free time. I think that more and more of us want that flexibility to be our own boss. And so I'm trying to connect through the platform people that are looking for providers that have a particular skill set. I want to connect those individuals that are searching with the providers that have that skill set and have free time and would like to monetize it. I'm connecting them through the platform, and then everyone wins. And so, to your question, I do think that opportunity for job creation is there through the app, and it's digitizing the skill set that a lot of people within the community already have.
So first, for those of us that weren't paying attention the first time, can you remind us the link for your Indiegogo campaign?
Sure, it's bit.ly / thank you for that, / freestyle it.
Cool. So I see some of you guys have phones out. Question for you. You talked about how you had 500 downloads, but in order to get where you need to be for the year, you need to have 1,000 bookings.
Right.
Where are you towards that bookings goal as of today? And how would you describe your traction over the past 2.5 months?
Sure, yes. So this is actually a topic that I've been ruminating over in my mind, because I think that when I first came up with the idea for the Freestyle app, I was pitching it from the pain point of the client, the consumer. So I think that the urgency to get on the app, I've seen a lot on the demand side. And so on the supply side, it's kind of taken me grassroots, really getting on sales calls with barbers till 12 a.m. in the morning, stylists, salons, visiting and kind of just knocking on doors and telling my story. And so right now, one of the things that I really want to do is to create a way to scale the power of my story and that impact to that supply side. So I thought to create educational resources like videos and maybe doing webinars. So the supply side is taken me really being out there, and I think that marketing dollars can help with that, help to create better ways to reach more of an audience at one time. And so that's kind of where I'm at now. I've been able to sign up stylists and barbers on the app, but the app also has invite links, and it's a community project. I think the same way that it's connecting you to your community, the community also needs to connect the app to the hair and beauty professionals that they love. And so once we get our people on that app, it becomes a repository, it becomes a searchable database that you can literally filter for your preferences. And I think that there's so much value in that. So.
All right, that's all we have time for. Thank you very much. Give her another round of applause. Thank you again to our judges. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Okay, and thank you again to Donna for coming up and sharing. And Donna, one more time, just share the link for us, just in case people didn't get it.
So the link to our Indiegogo campaign is bit.ly /freestyle it.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. Now we'll bring up our third entrepreneur, but also want to talk about our third partner for this evening, which is Georgetown's McDonough School of Business. Georgetown develops and educates principled leaders with global mindset to be in service to business and society. And again, wouldn't be able to do this event without their incredible support. So thank you to Georgetown's Business School for being here tonight. Now I want to bring up our next entrepreneur, which is Ron Reeves. But first, I want to introduce our judges. The first judge, and again, hold your applause to the end here, Elena Rosenblum from Union Kitchen. Come on up. All right. Brianne Dornbush from District Bridges. Come on up. And Felipe Perez from Small Business Development. Felipe, thank you so much for being here. All right. Ron. Have Ron come up. I should have been a judge tonight. I didn't know they were going to get to eat. All right, Ron, come on up. You excited to pitch tonight, brother? Oh, very excited. Great, great. What makes you passionate about the business that you're in?
What makes me passionate about the business that I am in is the social impact that is connected with it, providing opportunities to veterans and providing food for homeless veterans, as well as current serving service members.
That's great stuff. We're looking forward to hearing more about it. Just like with our other entrepreneurs, we're going to have 3 minutes to pitch. So I want you to come to the center here of the stage. On the stage here, I want you to give us your name, the name of your business, and then your 3 minutes will start.
Yes, sir. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ron Reeves, chef, owner, and operator of Kitchen Veteran LLC. My company is one that is connected to a social impact. I am a proud military veteran. When I returned from my service in Iraq, it was not a hero's welcome that greeted me, but the beginning of a long journey to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. And it is from those obstacles that I've turned into stepping stones, from being homeless and dealing with depression to birth Kitchen Veteran. I'm looking to raise $200,000 in capital through pre-sales of my jerk mango truffle-infused hot sauce. In addition to pre-sales of my hot sauce, for individuals living in the D.C., Maryland, and Virginia area, I am also offering catering services up to 75 guests, as well as personal chef services for a dinner date concept for couples. I'm also looking to expand my business from a one-man operation working out of a home kitchen to a full-service catering company that will employ veterans, as well as provide food for homeless veterans, and with a set portion of the profits that I make, provide food to current serving service members and their families who deal with food insecurity on a daily basis. I'm asking for partnership, access to a commercial kitchen to be able to mass produce my hot sauce, as well as my catering services. And I cannot think of a better way to say thank you for your service than to put your money into a company that is for veterans, by veterans, making a social impact in the lives of veterans every day. Thank you.
Sure, very good presentation, Ron, and I read your business plan. I think you got a great concept. One of the challenges that you mentioned in the business plan is basically scaling up, the employment aspect of it. You mentioned, I think, tapping into your military network for that. Would those folks come already equipped with, chef experience, or what sort of folks would you be getting through that network?
Well, yes, sir. They will come already prepared to take on the job because it will not just be the catering aspect, but also the personal chef aspect. So you must have some type of knowledge, basic food knowledge, to be able to go into these homes, nutritional knowledge, just the basics that you need to be able to provide these services. So yes, they will come equipped, and as part of the interviewing process, they will have to prepare a meal for me.
Okay. So would these people, would their background have been, maybe they had been, a cook in the military, or what sort of?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily?
They didn't have to be a cook in the military. That experience could have come, before or after or during their military service at any restaurant that they worked at least 2 to 3 years.
Okay. Sure. Can you tell us what we have here as far as the sauces?
What I prepared for you, one, you have a sample of my hot sauce. One is a jerk mango truffle-infused hot sauce. That is the orange one there. The heat comes at you instantly on that one, okay? The second one is a much milder version. That is a jerk mango banana truffle-infused hot sauce that I recently developed. For people who want the spice but don't necessarily want the heat. Both of them go very well with chicken or fish. And what I prepared for you to sample it with is jerk shrimp, with the mango salsa and avocado. You can start making pre-orders. Yes, you can. Indiegogo, search Kitchen Veteran.
Great. I really love your story. And there's definitely a need for what you're trying to do. I'm really curious about the sauce, which has a wonderful kick as I'm tasting it. Have you explored any opportunities to get this into the market through farmers markets or local stores? And what do you think that opportunity in this market here in DC could offer you?
I think it is a very big opportunity. Right now, the farmers market, due to the weather, is not operating right now, so I do plan to take advantage of that when the spring, summer seasons come around. But being that this is a premium product, it's organic, it's freshly made with black truffle oil infused with it. So I think for people who are looking for something different than the regular Texas Pete or Louisiana, something with a little bit of flavor, I think it's a very big opportunity in this market.
Hello. So my big thing when I look at food businesses just starting off is the person, because it's really going to take you driving it forward as the entrepreneur. So I'm curious because I can taste the passion in your food, but I'd love to hear your story about how you got involved in food and why this is something you want to grind out for the next 10, 20, 30 years.
Well, to begin with, cooking is something that I've always been interested in. I spent a lot of time as a child around my grandmother and great-grandmother and was always impressed with no measurements, no cookbooks, but they got it right every single time. When I came out of the military, I actually boxed professionally for 13 years. Not something that I could do forever, and began looking for ways to just branch off from that. Through cooking, I found that it stimulates the creativity. It's given me an opportunity to have a sense of control over my destiny, to be able to provide for my family. And the fact that I'm even standing here right now is just a dream come true for me, because I'm very big on don't talk to your pain, speak to your future. And just a few short years ago, I used to go inside of McDonald's to stay warm during nights like this. So for me to stand here and pitch a dream to you, I'm good.
Other questions from our judges? If not, thank you, Ron. Give a second for our judges to transition off. Judges might need some milk after trying that hot sauce. Although it looks good. I like my food a little spicy. All right. Thank you again, judges. Thank you. All right, thank you again to Ron, and now we'll bring up our next entrepreneur, Jasmine. But before we do, I want to talk a little bit about our next partner, Pernix Solutions, which is a software development and evolutionary prototyping solutions company. Again, they're a partner on the event tonight, and we certainly couldn't do the event without them. Jasmine's over here. Come on up, Jasmine. And while she's coming, if you want to come around, I'm happy to help you up the stairs here. Come on around here. I'm going to give you my mic for a second. Okay. Now, we'll introduce our judges. First, Marianne Lombardi, who is with OCTFME. She oversees the creative economy here in Washington, D.C., working with creative entrepreneurs, many of which are here on the stage this evening. Melissa Bradley from 1863 Ventures, and Patricia Enriquez from Henley Group. So thank you to these three ladies for joining us this evening. Give them a round of applause. Okay, now, Jasmine, just like the other entrepreneurs this evening, you will have 3 minutes to pitch. What we'd like you to do is give us your name, the name of your business, and then with your next word, your 3 minutes will start.
Okay. I guess, hi guys. My name is Jasmine K. Davis, and I am the founder and designer of Jasmine Kiana. 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 6 seconds. That is how long 71% of women can wear their favorite pair of high heel shoes until they feel unbearable pain. Sorry. When it comes to wearing high heel shoes, women have been forced to choose between style and comfort for far too long. You have been there, you have seen it. Maybe you're the woman that has to wear 2-inch heel shoes just simply because that's all your feet can handle. Better yet, maybe you're the woman that has to pack a pair of flats in her bag because you know eventually you will have to change into them. Or maybe you're the woman that's determined to wear them 6-inch heels, so you tape your 2 toes together to alleviate a little bit of comfort. Or better yet, if you're like me, you have tried insole after insole, and literally still no comfort. Okay, sorry. Ooh. Well, today, your high heel, Well, today, your soles will be getting a little bit lighter. I know high heel hell far too well. After buying my first pair of designer shoes in college, my pride quickly turned into anguish when I realized how bearable these shoes were. I've tried everything to add a minute of comfort, and still yet, there was no luck. That's when I decided to be a part of the solution to a problem that millions of women face daily, and Jasmine Kiana was born. While making my first pair of shoes, I realized the problem was actually within using an external insole. Reason being, you make a shoe onto a shoe last. So when you try to use an external insole, that space is not considered. So when you use that, it creates a tighter fit, overall still adding discomfort. So what did Jasmine Kiana do? We actually build a shoe collection that molds to your feet over time, takes the impact of each one of your walks, but better yet, our insoles are built into our shoes. I designed contemporary, cruelty-free, environmentally, my goodness. I'm gonna get it there. Woo, okay. Vegan high-heel shoes. Okay, there it is. During my design journey of making these insoles at home, one thing I realized is I started making my insoles with between 20 different samples from actual insole companies. And I took my findings and designed our first prototype. I am a scientist by day, and so that has positioned me to build the perfect insole. We are patent pending. On top of that, we have just launched our first collection this month. With that, we will also be moving forward with our first initiative with walking women through pain. And one of the ways we are looking to do that is we will be having a Walk in Our Shoes, which is our initiative to donate 3% of revenue to young women who have lost their parents by the age of 18. I have experienced this loss myself, and I know how meaningful it is for someone to either help with either an electric bill, paying for educational costs, or even therapeutic services. So we are not just a brand for the soles of your feet, we're also a brand for the soles of a woman. With that being said, our ask today is for you to consider us and investing in us with grit. And the way you can is by simply texting high heel hell. Simple as that, all one word, to 88202. That will send you a direct link to our I Fund Women crowdfunding website. Again, that's high heel hell, all one word, to 88202. And another way I would love for you to consider us in helping us grow as a brand is connecting us to the retailer experience. I have noticed our strength in sales come from women trying on our shoes. That's when the actual magic happens, and the oohs and ahs go from there. So helping us get into that, if you know anybody that would love to host our shoes or even have experiences where women can try them on, please send me an email at inquiry@jazzandkiana.com. Again, that's inquiry@jazzandkiana.com. Thank you.
Great job, judges.
Well, congratulations, and it sounds like a wonderful product. As you've sold me on the idea of heels and comfort and all of that. Like I don't have to walk too far to get with you on the product. You sort of brought up already my question after reading your material and listening to it is, how do you cut through the noise from the perspective of that marketing space? Because there's a lot of shoes out there. As a shoe buyer and shoe lover, I know that, right? So there's a lot of shoes out there. And there's a lot of shoes that say they're comfortable, you know. And so I've never thought about the idea that when I put an insole in, it changes the shape of the shoe. That's really great. But so when I buy an insole, I don't necessarily think about that. So how do you cut through that noise and get those shoes on the feet, finding unique ways for women to really understand what the product is?
Yes, so with our crowdfunding, I noticed we've been struggling just a little bit because we don't have that feel where people can try it on. All of my prototypes are unfortunately my size because I am my #1 model. So with that being stated, I'm working with my manufacturer to duplicate multiple sizes, which are actually on their way now. We want to actually film and actually watch women try on their shoes. When I did my photo shoots and my models put their foot in our shoe for the first time, those are the reactions we want to film, because they're raw and they're right there in the moment. And that's what people need to see. And so that's what I really am trying to engage and roll out in this month of December. And also sharing that story that we all have, which is high heel hell. So we're actually rolling that out with that 25-day of high heel hell in December. And so building that community where women can engage in that. And so we all have this problem, we're sharing this problem, and here I am with a solution. So that was how I'm choosing to chime through that noise. Thank you.
Well done. What is the patent on?
The patent is actually on the shoe design itself. We use a layering system, and so we're trying to protect that IP itself, which is within the insole built into the shoe.
So I am not your target market, never wore heels, not interested, it's not worth the pain. But I do like to be comfortable, so have you ever thought about just think of taking them apart and selling the insole to those of us who don't wear heels, or expanding your market if that's where there's a possible patent and competitive advantage?
So the way I decided to expand my market is being versatile in all my shoe designs, period. We will be rolling out men collections as well, other female-inspired collections. We have a flat that's even available. So broadening our horizon, we actually have 8 styles that are available that we have prototyped. And so the way that we're choosing to compact that, instead of selling the insole itself, that won't alleviate the problem of using an external insole. So our way was to just be a versatile brand, start with this high heel first, get our name and our brand into people's houses, and going from there and broadening the horizon.
So from a distribution channel, what kinds of things have you thought about doing other than just straight e-commerce? Because people want to try on shoes, especially if they have problems with their feet. So what kinds of distribution channels have you thought about? Have you thought about Tupperware party type things where you have ambassadors hold parties at their homes?
Actually, I had one of that this summer, where I met women, about 15, 20 women in this area, and we did a couple of them where with some of my mentors, we were able to actually get them to try on, or at least our insole board that I made. Another way is some of my fashion consultants out of LA and in New York has the actual connection to get us in some mainstream department stores. The issue that we're having is I don't have enough capital at this time to be able to bulk up our orders, to be able to meet the demands of department stores. Once we be able to have that, those connections are solidified, and we have a strategic plan to keep these buyers enticed with our company. They're watching and monitoring us. So the more that we can get people to pre-order, donate, support us, the stronger chance we can enter that space much sooner.
Are those your shoes?
Yes, this is one of my pairs.
That's a good thing.
I actually do that in the back. I didn't know we had a table or not, but yes, I actually have 8 styles.
How many of them are heels?
I'm sorry?
How many of the styles are actually heels?
Out of the styles, actually 7 of them are heels. 1 is a pair of flats.
Okay. Because your business plan said the other way around, so I was gonna...
Yes, so we actually wound up designing more as we went along with this process, just changing the colors, the patterns, color blocking. So that's where the changes came from.
Nail it, and then you scale it.
Mm-hmm.
So she doesn't have anything displayed on stage, but I bet if you text High Heel Hell to what number?
88202. And
I
High
bet
Heel
there's all
Hell.
kinds of pictures of your
one word.
products there, right?
Yes.
Great. Any other questions from judges?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Any other questions?
Yes, so again, we just launched this month, so we got about 9 to 10 strong backers. We also have women that are actually just waiting. I have to remind a lot of my mentors, they're extremely busy, as am I. So just simply texting them, emailing them. We've just been engaged in so many events, but we're looking forward. We're actually having a pop-up shop in Harlem, January 19th, so that will be really exciting, and we're ready to just get some more sales from there too.
All right, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just get the mic down right here for me. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you again to Jasmine. And as you've noticed, several of the entrepreneurs this evening are running crowdfunding campaigns, or they have asks for you to download their mobile application, etc. If you go to the hashtag StreetPitch2018, we are sharing all of the links, so you will see a tweet sharing the information on how to text Jasmine Kiana to get information about her campaign. There's links to the Indiegogo campaign from the Freestyle Hair app, and also there's a link there to the Indiegogo campaign for Ron Reeves, if you all are interested in engaging with these businesses. Otherwise, thanks again to these entrepreneurs, and thanks to all of you for being here, and to those of you who are watching on Facebook Live. We hope you'll continue to engage with these entrepreneurs and take the opportunity to not only watch them pitch, but to vote with your dollars by investing in their businesses. Next up, we'll bring up Chris King, but before we do, I want to talk about our next partner on this event, which is Hugo Creative. You see all the cameras here, the lights, etc. You see that I know what I'm doing at least half of the time. Hugo Creative is responsible for all of that. They are a boutique creative agency that are based here in Washington, D.C., and they do incredible work in the creative spaces. So thank you so much, Hugo, for being a sponsor this evening. Chris is coming up. And while he comes up, I will introduce our next round of judges. Again, all of these judges have been selected specifically to speak to the industry that these entrepreneurs are working in, so they'll have relevant feedback. First judge is Stacy Jackson from Amazon Web Services. Stacy, come on up. Next we'll have, and again, hold your applause, next we'll have Karima Woods from the D.C. Mayor's Office of Planning and Economic Development. And last, we'll have Catherine Marianne from the D.C. Office of Small and Local Business Development. Chris, come on up, my man. How's your evening going so far?
It's going well. Thank you for icing me, putting me later on in the day. But it'll be fun, because we can get everybody up and stretching for a minute, I think.
Some pretty good pitches, but I'm sure yours will be incredible as well. So just like the other entrepreneurs, you will have 3 minutes. Give us your name, the name of your business. Go ahead and step forward a little bit there. Don't be afraid of the stage. It won't bite. And so again, give us your name of your business, and then we'll start your 3 minutes. Thank you.
I'm actually going to talk about Marcus. We are Marcus. Marcus is one of the 24 million students growing up in a fatherless household in the United States. I'm actually Marcus in some way. I was raised by a single mom, and when I was attending my high school advisement meeting for college advisement, I was told very clearly that I would never attend a four-year college. I was a B-plus student and captain of several varsity sports teams, as well as vice chair of the economic club. And ultimately I ended up making it to college, and I had the support of a loving mentor and a mom that came in and fired that high school guidance counselor really quickly. That changed the direction of my life, mostly because that mentor also answered many of the questions that I didn't know to ask. Now those are the kind of the keys to success, but We Are Marcus delivers that success directly to students in a content delivery system so that we don't have to wait for the mentor. And the Campaign for Black Male Achievement estimates that number at about 16 million missing mentors. There's a lot of missing conversation, a lot of missing social capital that students don't get. Our content delivery system delivers that experience, and then we can monitor in real time the student growth through their writing. Now, we exist to revolutionize mentoring, and now my personal experience also informs this in some ways, because I've worked at a couple social impact startups, taught in the founding year of a school, taught kindergarten, and happened to also help President Obama get elected in Virginia on the operations team, scaling their operation from 22 offices to 72. We did that in 6 months. Now, I also volunteered at a lot of mentoring organizations, and what they rely on is matching. So that's the one-to-one model. So I thought to myself, if I have access to this mentor and it's one-to-one, does it work? Does it scale? Does it create that, does it close that gap with the missing mentors? And the answer is no. So We Are Marcus was created to scale from 1-to-1 to 1-to-20, 1-to-50, and 1-to-1,000. Now we've seen early success in our pilots in New York and DC with students, actually a charter school right down the road in Georgia Avenue. We saw students improve their attendance rates and improve outcomes, getting closer relationships with educators, which means more classroom learning time, and then we can attack the achievement gap. We can revolutionize mentoring and actually change the direction of thousands of lives and get mentors closer to students. In the spring, we will be expanding to 6 new territories. And I just got off the phone with a guy in University of North Texas that runs a TRIO programs. That's $625 million in Title I Part A funding that comes through programs throughout the country. So our market is big, but our footprint is getting there really soon. New York, DC, Charlotte, South Africa, and Dubai is where we're going. We have those MOUs lined up, and we're excited to see what happens, but also grow our team. There are 3 ways for everyone to get involved. And we had a fun bit.ly mentioned earlier, and our bit.ly is bit.ly/wham launch. Our Indiegogo campaign is looking to raise $50,000. We're currently in a couple accelerators, so we're seeing that go, and we're growing our audience. Next way is to buy a cool t-shirt. I'm wearing one. And you could support us at wearemarcus.com. Lastly, I mentioned the schools, after schools, and we're going to parents soon as well. You can connect us to a school board or charter school, go on our Indiegogo campaign, and go in and put in your comments. And if you want to introduce us to someone, you can do it there. You can also reach out. I would love to talk to you, Christopher King at We Are Marcus. So you can actually look that up on LinkedIn and connect with me and shoot me a direct message. Thank you so much. The future of mentoring starts now.
That's great. Questions from our judges?
Great presentation. So I have a couple questions for you. The first is, can you describe the platform itself? Is it a mobile application or is it a web platform? How exactly are the students and the mentors engaging? Like, just can you go a little bit deeper about that? Also your revenue model, and whether or not you are B2B, like you're selling this platform to schools, or it's actually to individuals?
All of the above. So the 2-part question. 1, describe the product. Wham Pro is our enterprise platform for schools and after-school programs. So that's, if you imagine Netflix on the front and Blackboard on the back and some magic secret sauce in the middle. Right, so the behavior analytics that we're developing on students, and we want to drive this conversation, particularly on Black youth, is to give them this sort of grit metric to break down student engagement and syntax, length and depth of their responses, and their engagement on the platform in terms of how long they're on a particular video and their progress throughout the scheme. So that's Wham Pro. It's a curated video. We've curated that content, cut it up into chapters, 15 chapters with 3 speakers right now, with 7 on deck. So we'll have actually 10 engaging speakers speaking on a variety of topics, and we'll be able to analyze the students and how they're taking in that information, providing them access to a conversation that used to be just with one person. Now we have data to drive and figure out what kids like, what mentors like, and then how the students are progressing. WHAM Go is our app we're working on, which is actually an augmented reality experience for students to access on the go, so that when I was on the subway and I was trying to pull something up, we can get offline access to our mentoring experience, that students who are limited by Wi-Fi and data caps, they can also access the content that way.
Absolutely, great presentation, and thank you for the work that you're doing. My question is, and piggyback to the other judge, in reference to how are you able to motivate young people to utilize the app, and then how do you measure the impact of mentoring on the lives of the young people?
There was one part of Stacy's question that I didn't answer, so I want to get to both, which is the revenue model. So a subscription-based monthly recurring revenue piece of that whole Netflix answer is that monthly engagement. But the piece you had on engagement is answered by fun. So engagement equals fun. People stay on things because they have a good time with it. Particularly kids love Fortnite right now. So we're working on how to reward users as they go through the platform. And currently the facilitators will actually give them small doses. The other answer to that is 40 to 120 seconds of video max. So your attention span is not challenged.
Christopher, thank you. I'm going to make a statement that leads into my question. I invite you to fight this statement as we look at this. So EdTech is a big, fast, moving space with a lot of players. As you're coming into this, and as you think of yourself as EdTech, mentorship is often one of those things that is considered valuable, but one of the first things cut when budgets get tight. So how do you see what you're doing as claiming is its space in EdTech? And is mentorship simply precious, or is it a core part of education? And if it's the latter, how do you get there?
Sure. Thank you for that framework. I would shift it a bit in that, back to my experience with the Obama campaign that then turned into the My Brother's Keeper Alliance. With the shifting politics, what I consistently find is that the demand is very strong. We were featured in a Black Enterprise article in the spring of 2016, and we had 60 demo signups in a week from 10 different states. These are people starting schools, people in enrichment work, mentors. How can I get involved? Folks from Wall Street Journal we just talked to today, I want to be a mentor. And people are looking to get involved in a project and an innovative solution because they know that they can't be in Oakland, they can't be in St. Louis, they can't be in Memphis, Orlando. After heinous acts of violence in this country, people are looking to heal, right? And they're looking for an organization that can accept them on a reduced barrier access point. So they don't have to try that hard to get involved. We can just figure out how they can remotely upload their story and have peer-to-peer connections. The last part of your question, I think, is the ed tech elbowing ourselves out in the marketplace and creating space. What we do is prioritize that cultural competence piece that other mentoring organizations, large-scale mentoring organizations, I mentor Big Brothers Big Sisters, they're currently not leveraging it in the same way, and also having students change their behavior in ways that isn't curated, like Facebook. So 15-year-olds aren't on Facebook the way that they used to be. So we think a lot about how we can create a space for them to engage in a program where a school is giving them access, but then they can also access it offline when they're not in that program, which is the pain point, the major pain point of the over 100 demos we've done in the past year to figure out what's going on in the market. So we listen to our users, we're data-driven, we're student-driven, and students have also given us input on what they want to see.
All right, thank you very much. Give them another round of applause, yeah. Thank you, sir. Great job. Great job. So the pitches tonight have been pretty good. Do you guys think so? Yeah? So, some of you know this. I run a nationwide casting tour for Shark Tank, the television show. I hear pitches from several thousand entrepreneurs every year. I travel all around the country, top to bottom, left to right, big city, small town. But I'm always excited to come back home, because I live here in Washington, D.C., and hear pitches from entrepreneurs here. Little known fact, just about every season of Shark Tank, we've had an entrepreneur from the D.C. area on the show. Many seasons, we've had multiple entrepreneurs, and actually last season, season 9, we had 6 entrepreneurs from the D.C. area pitching on ABC Shark Tank. That's an incredible representation of the entrepreneurial ecosystem that has been growing here in Washington, D.C., something that all of the folks here on stage are part of, but also something that I know many of you here in the audience are part of. And those of you that are watching on Facebook Live, if you haven't visited Washington, D.C. to check out the D.C. tech scene, to check out the small business scene, you should definitely come and check it out, because there's some incredible businesses that are growing here, both folks here on this stage tonight and also folks that are building their businesses in the community. Now I want to bring up our next entrepreneur, Angelique from Iconic Style. But before I introduce her, I want to talk a little bit about our next partner on this event. Again, without these incredible partners, we wouldn't be able to make this event work. Collective Media Group is a full-service production company based in the Washington, D.C. metro area. They were recently awarded Best Action Sequence at the Urban Action Showcase International Action Film Festival in New York City for their rendition of the Marvel comic Blade. The company is minority, female, and veteran-owned, specializing in films, documentaries, music videos, and commercials. For more information, you can go to the link that's in the promo materials. But those are some incredible entrepreneurs that are represented tonight. You see the folks behind the cameras making sure that all of us here on stage look good. Thank you again to Collective Media Group for being a sponsor this evening. Now, Angelique, can come on up. Yeah, come on up. Where are you going? Go back down. Okay. Let me introduce the judges, and again, hold your applause to the end here. C. Smith from C. Smith Media Group, Danielle Tate from Elegant Entrepreneur, and Prashi Vakaria from Womanium. Come on up and give them a round of applause as they come. So you work in fashion. How's the audience look tonight? Did the audience look okay? Or do you feel like they need some of your fashion consulting?
They look wonderful.
Peek into the mic.
Oh, they look wonderful.
They look wonderful? Okay. Well, great. Here's what I want you to do. Give us your name, the name of your business. After that, your 3 minutes will start. Go ahead and step forward a little bit. There you go, so everybody can see these incredible boots you have on, and you're going to do great.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm excited to be here. I'm Angelique Michelle, CEO of Iconic Style. Our product is the Iconic Style app, which is your closet in the palm of your hand and virtual stylist. Have you ever tried on 5 different outfits just to put on the 5 different outfits just to wear the first one that you tried on? And by this time, your house is a mess, you're stressed, and you're late for work? Of course, we all agree, correct? Yes. I have worked in the fashion industry for over 10 plus years. I have a bachelor's degree in fashion merchandising. I worked in the fashion industry as a personal stylist, shopper, and closet organizer to many celebrities, such as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, NFL Clinton Portis, singer Khalees, and of course we all know who Venus and Serena Williams are. And now I want to work with you. People every day struggle to get ready, and stylists struggle to find clients. Our company created the Iconic Style app, which allows you to have a virtual closet and also to hire stylists virtually. Our ask today, our goal is to gain $40,000 to $100,000 to add new technologies to our company and take it globally. Currently, we have over 5,000 users on the app, in which 1,000 users are stylists. So we have 3 asks today. So our 3 asks today are, we're looking for ambitious investors, we're looking to gain access to stylists, designers, and closet organizers, as well as for you to download the Iconic Style app. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a very good pitch. Can you describe how the platform works? How do you match a stylist with a person? And also, have you looked at any B2B marketing you could do, right? So right now you're looking at the consumer space. Can your product of matching stylists with, so can your product be also used for companies, for them to advise their clients on what is a good fit for them out of what they're looking to sell?
So currently it's kind of like a little bit where you can go onto the app, you can see stylists, you can see what they've styled, so you can actually choose your own stylist. So the stylist doesn't have to choose you, but we do want to add an augmentation in it that will direct stylists to you to use, but right now you can actually go on there and see what the stylists have styled and choose them.
Great. Yeah, and again, how do you get the word out to consumers? There's, again, a lot of noise in the app space. And what are B2B marketing opportunities you may have as well?
Well, we have a heavy celebrity clientele, and we plan on utilizing our clients as a way to market to the industry, as well as a lot of celebrity stylists that I'm actually friends with to also push it on different platforms, mainly social media.
Fantastic.
Great pitch. I had a question based on your revenue model. I saw briefly that it's like a $1.99 subscription on the user and the stylist. Is that the only revenue portion that you have, or?
So we do have 3 revenue models. One is the stylist percentage from the transaction. So when a stylist styles a client, whether they charge $199, $599, whatever the stylist creates the fee to be, we get a percentage of that transaction as well. So also when you buy something on the app, we get a percentage of that. So those are our revenue models, as well as we have a membership fee for boutique owners. So if you're a boutique and you want to put your clothes into our app to advertise to all of our clientele, we get a percentage of those sales as well.
And you said you had 5,000 users, 1,000 being stylists. Like, what is your revenue based off of those users?
So we did, when we first launched the app, we did make it a monetary fee. But because it was still in beta testing, we decided to take off the monetary value and just push the app out there so we can get the user clientele. So currently we're upgrading the app, updating the app, adding new features, and then we're going to add all the revenue models back to it.
Great pitch. I have a question. So you've got 3 different buckets for monetization. So you've
Cha-ching,
got,
ching.
right,
Yes.
which is good, but it's a lot to accomplish at the same time as you launch. So out of stylists, people who need to be styled, and boutiques, which one are you focusing on for monetization?
We're going to focus on our main goal as a stylist because that's the pain point of the app, is stylists connecting with clients. So we're going to push the revenue model, the main revenue model of the stylist. We actually get a percentage of what the stylists generate on the app. So that is our main push for right now. We do have 3 revenue models, but that is our main focus.
And to follow up on that then, so how do you, I know you're friends with a few stylists, how do you market to specifically stylists? Is there a trade show? Is there a marketing campaign through Instagram? Like what are your plans?
Okay, well, I do work with a few fashion colleges, and I also teach fashion and personal image and consulting and things like that. So I get a lot of up-and-coming stylists. So our main focus right now is we do have the celebrity stylists on our platform, but I focus our product on up-and-coming stylists because they're eager to get out there. They're eager to gain clientele. They're eager to get access to a newfound capital.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you to our judges. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And great job. All right. Believe it or not, we are on our final pitch for the 2018 Street Pitch from Street Entrepreneurs. These entrepreneurs that have pitched tonight have been incredible, and we are at entrepreneur number 7. But before we introduce the next entrepreneur, I want to talk a little bit about our next partner, Lyft. So did you know that the majority of Lyft drivers are actually entrepreneurs as well? You can sign up to be a driver and be sure to Google Lyft Pitch to hear more about driving entrepreneurs and the work that Lyft is doing with entrepreneurs. Thanks again to Lyft for being a partner on the event this evening. So our next entrepreneur, Aaron, who's co-founder of Smirky Cares, was not able to make it. However, we have someone else to come in and pitch for him this evening. Come on up and grab the mic. She's been helping us out all evening, and now she is going to be front and center as part of the next pitch here, but before we let her take it away, we'll introduce our judges. First judge is Dolores Wilson, who is not here, but is going to be sending me questions virtually, and I'm excited to hear those. The next judge is Raji Ramana. Raji, are you here? Come on up. Yep. Hold your applause again. We'll have Aaron Saunders. Aaron, where are you? Come on up. Give him a second. Okay, and again, Raji is the Assistant Dean of Career Management Executive Degree Programs. Aaron, of course, is the founder here at the IN3 Incubator and our host for this evening. And now we'll have Ryan Malazweski from Gallaudet University, who will also join us this evening. Okay, so just like I've told all the other entrepreneurs, give us your name, the name of the business, step forward a little bit, and after you give us the name of the business with your next word, take it away with your pitch.
Hi, I'm Bethany Quinn, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Street Investors Exchange. Juliana Cardona Mejia is my co-founder, who you all know and hopefully love. And so I wanted to thank you all for coming out tonight for supporting Street Entrepreneurs. Street Entrepreneurs is committing to creating a world where anyone with grit and a good idea can succeed. And too often talented entrepreneurs from diverse communities are unable to succeed because of a lack of access to resources and capital. Juliana and I have a plan to change that. With Street Investors Exchange, we are building a platform to enable pension investment in startups to essentially create a tech-enabled fund-of-funds manager. Through that platform, our plan is to double the number of women and quadruple the number of African Americans working in venture capital by the end of our first official cohort. So, yeah, could be pretty exciting. So, obviously there's a lot that goes into a fund of funds, but one of the two things that I want to focus on tonight are overcoming barriers. And one of the biggest barriers to getting into venture capital is that to get into venture capital under the current system, you kind of already have to be rich. And so we want to change that. Our platform would do that in two ways. Our company would do that in two ways. Number one, we're creating a system to gamify and quantify what it means to be a good startup investor. So people would get points for doing things like starting companies, but also supporting startups, supporting crowdfunding campaigns or otherwise investing. They would get points for helping startups set up their accounting systems, things like that. We're also creating a platform where people would be able to do due diligence and research on prospective investments that could be available to investors, and then they would get points for that as well. So once people had enough points on our platform or enough of an investment track record, they could apply to manage funds for us. And so hopefully not only would existing angel investors who have a track record but want to manage their own fund be able to sort of move up that ladder and get the funds they need to be able to start their first fund, but also people who are currently unaccredited investors would get access to sponsored training funds to be able to get a track record in their own right, to be able to get a track record and then become fund managers in their own right. And then the other piece of it is that we're planning to partner with our sister organization, Street Entrepreneurs, to fund the great work that they're doing by contracting to them to do boot camps like the curriculum that she's offered, thanks to the incredible support of IN3 here in DC, around the country. So if you are on the live stream and interested in bringing street entrepreneurs and their curriculum to your city, reach out to Street Entrepreneurs on their Facebook page. And so before I turn to the judges with questions, I wanted to, we have 3 asks. Number one, like our Facebook page, we are Street Investors Exchange. Number 2, we're building our team. If you're interested in joining the work that we're doing, please check out the jobs that we have posted on the Facebook page and reach out. And number 3, We are raising a 500K seed round. So if you are an accredited investor and are interested in investing in this company, we are hoping to be very profitable and also do a lot of fantastic work. So thank you so much for your time and your support.
Well, I guess I can start off. It's really a wonderful pitch. Can you tell me more about your customer discovery process? The reason why I'm inquiring is because during your customer discovery process, you want to have a better read of your market potential. And you want to be mindful, and especially of your team specifically, what are some of the possible scalable possibilities that you can, based on the market that you can serve, based on the research that you've been doing up to this point?
Absolutely, thank you for that question. We're actually doing, continuously doing customer discovery. We've pivoted it recently to focus more on sort of institutional investors first. So my background is that I used to work for a union. I used to work for the Service Employees International Union, and so their head of diversity investment is actually on our advisory board. And so we have been reaching out and talking directly with some of those institutional investors, and we hope to be able to open that door for other investors in the space. Yeah, so does that answer your question?
Great.
What's the key philosophy that you are following? By the way, this is great what you guys are doing. Congratulations. What basic philosophy and criteria are you basing your investment approach?
So I'm not the one investing. My investment approach is, let's put the money in the hands of people who come from communities, right? Too often, the communities with the most opportunity for innovation have the fewest resources to achieve it, and that's what we want to change.
This is a selfish question. So for someone like me who has a strong background in technology but kind of fantasizes about being an angel investor at some point, but not like a deep financial background, how do we position ourselves to add value in that space? Because I believe that, somewhere on that investment team, hopefully, there's someone who has a deep understanding of technology.
Yeah, so you're actually exactly the type of person who we are hoping to enroll in our program, because you obviously have done incredible work with IN3, and you have that deep knowledge, you have that, obviously you know a bunch of people in the startup world, and so that's what the system would be, where you're quantifying and gamifying. And so the idea would be you would go through, and you obviously would have a lot of experience and could chalk up a lot of those points already. And so then you would get access to this fund where you could start to make those pre-seed and seed investments, so that you could, when we go to institutional investors who, for their fiduciary duty, are required to invest in people who have a competitive track record, which they typically define as 5 to 7 years of experience, so with competitive returns, the index varies. So we could build you up to that point where you would have that, and then you would be one of our microfund managers.
Could I actually have one more question, if you don't mind? You said that $500,000 ask. What is your vision for big expenses, or you're looking for that to cover expenses? What are you thinking for the investment purposes?
So that would be to build out the platform and to make some key hires on our team.
Okay, thank you so much, Bethany, and thank you again to our judges. Thank you. Great job.
Thank you, Ryan.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the final pitch for our Street Pitch 2018. Excited about all of the things that these entrepreneurs are are working on, and can't wait to see their businesses grow. Before we close out, I'm going to have Juliana come up and give us some closing remarks, along with Aaron Saunders, again, who is our host for this evening. But before we do that, I want to talk about one final group of partners that we have. I want to thank Amazon Web Services for the delicious food that we have this evening, and also the Coalition for Nonprofit Housing and Economic Development that fosters just and equitable community development solutions that address the needs and aspirations of low and moderate income district residents by convening, advocating, and educating diverse stakeholders. Join me in welcoming Stephen Rodriguez, who is here representing Global Entrepreneurship Network and Global Entrepreneurship Week. How many of you knew that this was Global Entrepreneurship Week and that there's been events happening all week? Stephen has been a part of organizing those events, and Stephen has a very special announcement to make. So Stephen, come on up. We'd love to hear from you.
All right, thank you.
No, it's on. Yep.
All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for all of you who have participated throughout the 7 days back in November 12th to the 18th. Who here has been part of Global Entrepreneurship Week in some way or form? We just launched it this year. It's been happening since 2007 across more than 172 countries. It's part of the Global Entrepreneurship Network's programs of events and initiatives to help kind of innovate and inspire people to consider entrepreneurship all over the world. So part of what we were doing this year is how do we showcase the amazing founders that are coming up from the community, the ones that are not normally highlighted. So we asked different stakeholders to recommend different entrepreneurs. We had a committee to kind of look through some of them, and also had a little public voting online, and then we selected a winner. So we're going to announce them. We haven't really announced it before, and it's going to happen now. So the winner for the Founders Rising for 2018, first year that we're trying this, and then next year we're going to have hopefully more cash prizes, but at the very least, they get marketing insight and experience and work through Bloomshift. So they're going to get something out of it to help grow and accelerate their business. But it's, are you ready to hear? Yeah? Awesome. All right. So it's Sunyata Amen from Calabash Tea and Tonic is the one who won this year.
Yeah, give them a round of applause.
Congratulations. So we're unveiling it here. We're going to contact her afterwards. And again, thank you so much for being part of this. And kudos to Juliana Mejia Cardona, Aaron Saunders, and everyone who participated in Global Entrepreneurship Week, from the amazing organizers all down to all the participants who learned something throughout the week. Thank you so much. And until 2019, and giving it back to Juliana. So, Julia.
Thank you.
Hey guys. There's one more sponsor we didn't get to thank, and they're seated over here. I can see the shirts. Make My Day CPA. If you need an accountant, they're the only ones I recommend. Awesome. So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for giving me the courage to stand here today. You know, I like to be doing the work. I like to be in the back room, crunching the numbers and working with entrepreneurs. Being in front of the camera for me, or in the stage really, or in a panel, is definitely not my comfort zone. So thank you. Thank you to all the entrepreneurs who gave me the courage to do this. Thank you. So, what we have experienced here tonight, I think, is a testament to the collaborative DC ecosystem. How many of you have heard getting collaboration in DC in the entrepreneurship system is impossible? Anyone? Stacy? Well, this is a testament that that's not true. We brought 30, actually, I think the latest count was 48. 48 organizations are live streaming this tonight from their Facebook pages. And that was 2 minutes that I checked. Countless have shared this live feed. And we've pulled together 120 volunteers who have done this for something that's a lot more valuable than money. And that's your passion, you know? It's people who truly care, people like Alex, who I'm looking at right now. Thank you for being here. So I could go on really thanking each and every single one of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But if I name all of you, this will sound like an Oscars ceremony. And we really don't want that, because then you'll tune out and go to sleep. And anyways, so to tell you more about the future of street entrepreneurs, I want to welcome the brilliant, the only, the fabulous, the inspirational Corey Lancaster. She is the Street Entrepreneur's CTO, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about a project we've been working on called Talent Hive. So for those of you who don't know, so there's 3 types of programming we provide. We have 32 pay-what-you-can workshops that are priced based on your income. So if you're low income, they're free. And we have a mentorship, we have coaching, and we have a barter system, a system as old as time, and that's what she's going to tell you about how we're taking that system, revolutionizing it, and bringing it to the modern era, and incentivizing it and gamifying it. And lastly, the last programming we have, of course, is Street Pitch. So this is our way of really promoting entrepreneurs and giving them the center stage so that they can truly get the attention they deserve. Because when entrepreneurs leave it all on the table, that's the least they deserve. So I'll stop talking, and without further ado, please welcome Corey Lancaster.
Hey everybody, thank you for still being here. I know it's getting late. Thank you so much for that warm introduction. So I want to go back a little bit. Before I was the CTO at Street Entrepreneurs, I was just an entrepreneur. Earlier this year, I had an idea, I had a team, I had infrastructure, but I had no idea how to lead a profitable business. No idea if I even wanted to. I was very comfortable in my own professional trades, but I didn't really know much else. So I found myself at a workshop at Street Entrepreneurs where I learned sales and marketing. I learned the fundamentals of selling my products and services and also branding myself, and consequently I was able to increase my client portfolio by 150%. Yeah. Thank you. I met Juliana as we were walking out of the workshop. We were both headed in the same direction home, and the rest is pretty much history. So 4 months ago, I came to Street Entrepreneurs, and in that time period, we've been building technology to really digitize this system, right? So me, a software developer, I knew that I needed to learn marketing. But what if you, an attorney or a chef or a stylist, realize that you need to learn how to code? So instead of having this workshop model, we can make that personal. Entrepreneurs don't always have a lot of money. Most of them have less than no money. However, we do have tons of time, and we make tons of time. So in this system, time is our currency, and our clients are entrepreneurs. We're sharing our skills. 1 hour of time buys 1 hour of learning. Together, we can really digitize the startup ecosystem, and we can take this abroad, as Bethany said. So in January, we're going to launch this app. In January, Street Entrepreneurs is also going to go on the road. So we hope that you'll sign up to beta test this app on our website, streetentrepreneurs.org, and we hope that you'll sign up for our workshops so that we can bring street entrepreneurs to cities all across America. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you for the incredible work that you and Liana and the team are doing with Street Entrepreneurs. Before we head out today, we would be remiss if we did not I'll hear from our host. Again, Aaron Saunders is the founder of the IN3 Inclusive Innovation Incubator. He is an incredible force for good in the DC area and is doing some incredible work here at IN3 on the campus of Howard University here in Washington, DC. Aaron, come on up here and tell us a little bit more about the vision for IN3 and about the work that you're doing with students here on campus. Yeah, go ahead and grab a mic. The work you're doing with students and also with entrepreneurs here in the ecosystem.
Right. First of all, I'm going to try and be brief because it's getting late. But first of all, how many people have actually been here before? All right, and how many people had never heard of this place before tonight? All right, so thank you, Juliana, because we have some potential new members to our community. Inclusive Innovation Incubator is a physical manifestation of work that I've been doing here in the DC Tech ecosystem for the last 10 years. I started a software development company called Clearly Innovative 10 years ago here in Washington, D.C., with specific focus of providing opportunity for people of color who wanted that first step into a technology firm. So what we do is we identify individuals who are passionate about technology, do not have formal training, probably aren't getting paid as developers, and we're bringing them on as apprentices, paying them and training them. That is how we started. Next, we moved on to how can we create the next generation of leaders. Through a series of opportunities, we were given an opportunity to create a STEM and entrepreneurship program at Howard University Middle School for Math and Sciences. That's now kind of expanded into what we call Clearly Innovative Education. We focus on K through 12. We're actually now expanding into adult education. We teach entrepreneurship. We teach JavaScript frameworks. The whole idea is to create a more diverse ecosystem of technologists, creatives, and entrepreneurs. We then won a $100,000 grant from Mission Main Street. And our goal was to have a space where we can meet to do events similar to this. But for anyone who lives in DC, we very quickly realized $100,000 does not go very far. You really just can't get that much space here in DC with that much money. But then things happen for a reason. The mayor's office put out an RFP to identify an individual or an organization to run a space that was intentionally focused on creating opportunities for under-resourced and underrepresented individuals in Washington, D.C. Now, my background's in technology. I do have an MBA, but I have never run a space before. I've never been an ecosystem. All the names they throw around now, ecosystem builder, all this other stuff. But I felt that there was a reason why I ended up on this path. And so despite being told that it was not a good idea, despite being told it was probably not going to work, despite all of the negative things, I felt that I'm here for a reason, so I'm gonna grab this opportunity. And so here we are today. There are good times and there are bad times, but I have to say nights like tonight make all of this worth it. Nights when I can look out into a crowd and see a diverse group of entrepreneurs, technologists, and creatives coming out to support other diverse technologists, entrepreneurs, and creatives, let me know that this will work. We started this as, I used to call it like a petri dish. You know, will this work? Won't this work? How much is it going to cost? What do people need to see to be successful? But I know it's working just by the fact that people are here tonight. I know it's working by what we saw on the stage tonight, and I know it worked by all the people that we saw watching tonight. And I'm going to end this by telling a story about Juliana, and I hope that she doesn't get upset and cry. Right after we found out we won, I met Juliana, because that was about 3 years ago. And she told me about Street Entrepreneurs and what she was doing. And I said, all right, you can host it at IN3. I think that was the second time I met you. I said, yeah, you can host it at IN3. She started crying. And she said, I can't believe you. I said, yeah, where's you going to host it? Juliana has been, I can honestly say, involved with this process from the beginning. She will sit at the front desk and buzz people in. She will answer the phone for us. She will take out the trash. She will clean the kitchen if it needs to be done. And to me, those are the people that will create and support this ecosystem. internally we have this phrase that we use. It's the people who say they want to help and the people who actually do help. And I'm certain I see people nodding their heads. Y'all have met those folks. Yeah, they come up to you at an event, oh, this is great, awesome, let's have a meeting, and they don't call back. You never hear from them again. Juliana is not one of those people. I'm glad. I would argue that most of the people in this room are not this type of people. And so I encourage you all to come figure out a way to be part of what we're doing here at IN3, because you're the type of people that I want in this community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aaron, for being our host. You dropped your mic right there. Thank you to Aaron and his team. Aaron, what's the website for IN3 if folks want to come? I know you're having events here on a regular basis, or if they want to come and check out the space, where do they get more information?
Everything is IN3DC, so Facebook, Twitter, anything you can imagine. If you just type in3dc.com or IN3DC, you'll find us.
All right. Thank you so much, Aaron. So, this has been the inaugural edition of Street Pitch. This has been Street Entrepreneurs Street Pitch 2018, an incredible display of diverse entrepreneurial talent from the DC area that's been on display here on the campus of Howard University, but also online, streamed to, as Juliana said, almost 50 organizations. I mean, I'm sure hundreds of thousands of likes and followers, et cetera, through that. The entrepreneurs have pitched this evening, but the last thing I want to talk about is you. At the beginning of this night, both Juliana and myself said that you would have an opportunity, some unique opportunities to engage with these entrepreneurs. There have been some changes to regulations over the past few years that now allow anyone in the United States over 18 years of age to invest in a startup company before it's listed on the stock exchange. So when the real money is made, and also it's speculative, so you have to have the opportunity to lose your money too, so you have to make good decisions. However, before a couple of years ago, you, unless you were an accredited investor, didn't even have the opportunity to weigh the risk as to whether or not you wanted to invest in a startup company. Not all of the companies here tonight are running campaigns, but several were. If you're interested in those, go to, again, hashtag StreetPitch2018. Check out their offerings, check out the information on their websites, and vote with your dollars. Again, you're choosing the winner of Street Pitch 2018 by voting with your dollars instead of our judges who are here this evening, who are incredible giving feedback and asking questions. So my challenge to each of you is to, again, go to the hashtag, check out the offerings from all of these entrepreneurs, and choose to do something new, choose to do something different. How many of you in this room have ever invested in a startup company? How many? A couple? A couple? Okay. Most of you have never invested in a startup company. Now you have the opportunity to do so, and the opportunity to do it with as little as $10 of your own money, which anyone has, to be able to not just invest to build wealth, but invest to learn. And so that's my challenge to you. Thank you again for joining us here at IN3 for Street Pitch 2018, and thank you to those of you who are online for joining us as well. One last thing from Juliana before we go. Come on up.
I would be remiss if I didn't tell you to go to Crowdfund Main Street. If you go on that site, you can actually become an investor in countless startups. It's a launch that recently launched by the brilliant Jenny Casson and Michelle, and go there. Also, check out the Indiegogo campaigns for the entrepreneurs here. I just had to add that last thing I forgot in my speech. I'm sorry.
No problem. Always happy to hear from you. It's your show. Thank you again, Juliana, for allowing me to be here and for creating this space for all of us to come and hear these incredible entrepreneurs this evening. I hope that all of you connect with the people that are here with you. I often say at our Shark Tank casting calls that the best resource is very often the person sitting next to you versus the entrepreneur or the VC or the CEO that you think you need to connect with. So make sure you're connecting with each other. Feel free to connect with me. I'm at Yes Brandon on social media, and yes, I do respond when you reach out. Thank you again for coming. Get home safely. Street Pitch 2018.